of times people say to me, Michael, how do I become more disciplined? How do I become that person that, goes out there and, does what they need to do on a regular basis, pushes themselves regularly, steps up, doesn't get beat down by the crowd, does what they need to do, keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. How do I become that person consistently more often in my life? And I want to make sure that you guys understand exactly how to pull that off today. I'm also going to talk to you guys how to create a real plan for yourself. I mean, like a real legitimate plan. I just got done with a program called Call to Action with a group of about 150 people here. It ended last night, and I got a chance to ask everybody in the last day, how many of you set goals? And everybody's like, me, I set goals. And like 80 people that were on that call said, I set goals. I said, how many of you have gotten the majority of them on a regular basis? And nobody spoke up. And I said, how many of you are going to set goals again at the end of this year? And everyone's like, me. And I said, well, why are you going to do what didn't work the last 55 times again? Did you think things were going to be different? So what I want to teach you guys today is not about goal setting. I want to teach you guys some very basic goal-getting ideas that you can start impacting your life in a huge way. And it's not just something that impacts you, it's going to impact the people around you, because when you start getting more of what you want, A, you're more fun to be around, and B, what happens is you show other people it's possible that they can start doing in their lives as well. So I just want to, share that idea with you guys today and get you guys moving on that. So here's what we're going to do. As we start off this training here today and we start moving in the right direction, I'll share with you a little bit of a story. And I shared this recently, and I'll give it to you guys one more time. And the story was about a farmer. And the farmer had a little chicken coop. And what happened with the chicken coop is he took care of his chickens, and he had his eggs, and he'd sell the chickens to market, and he did his thing. And he was a chicken farmer because his dad was a chicken farmer, and his grandfather was a chicken farmer. It's just what they did. He grew up in the Midwest, and really nice guy. So he really didn't know very much about anything other than chickens. And one day, he's out and about, and he sees this really, really large egg. And he grabs this really large egg, and he's thinking, this is amazing. It's like the crown jewel. It's like the Fort Knox of chicken eggs. He's thinking, I could take this thing to town. I could sell it. But, let me think about what I'm going to do with it. Because I'm a farmer, I don't really know what to do with eggs other than I can't fit this one in the fridge because it's huge. And he takes the chicken egg, and he puts it in the chicken coop. And time goes by. He kind of forgets about it. One of the other chickens sits on it. And eventually that big egg hatches and a little baby eagle comes out. But because the farmer went ahead and put him in with the chickens, that little eagle just walks around and just struts around with all the chickens, and all his friends are chickens, and everybody around him is a chicken, and he lives in a chicken coop. And, the farmer says to his chickens, are your chickens ready to eat? And he starts conditioning himself as a chicken. And a couple of years later, the little chicken and the eagle grew up, and they became friends, and, they're hanging out, and he's got his buddy and his friends and everything else. And one day he sees this beautiful, beautiful bird fly by. And the little baby eagle goes, that is gorgeous. And one of the chickens goes, isn't it though? And he goes, what do you call that thing? And the little chicken goes, well, that is the bald eagle. It is the king or queen of the sky. They're the most beautiful bird. They can soar high. They can do anything they want. And the little baby eagle on the ground who's living with the chickens looks up and says, you know what? I wish I was an eagle. What's interesting about that story is each and every one of us has inside of us more than we're capable. But a lot of times we surround ourselves in environments with people. We surround ourselves in environments with ways of doing things. And we leave it up to chance to get where we want to go. And people always say to me, Michael, how do I get what it is I want? And for the majority of you, your answer to that question is something as simple as like, Michael, I have to be more disciplined as a person. If I was more disciplined and I did what I needed to do every day, then things would work out for me. And I'd say, well, what areas do you need to be disciplined in? Well, I need to watch what I eat, and I'm sure you've said this before, and I need to really make my calls every day, and I need to work on my marketing, and I got to put things back where I take them out from. And it's this laundry list of things that we wish we can do. And I usually call this very simple phenomena the chocolate cake phenomena. And the chocolate cake theory is a very simple phenomena that most people deal with, is that a lot of times we see something and we say, I want to get in better shape. You look at the gym, you look at your body, you look at your waist, you want to lose some weight, you go by the P90X thing, you get excited about getting in better shape, and you stare at this idea of wanting to get in better shape, and you say, if I could only do blank, then things would be different in my life. So I'm going to throw a scenario by you, and I'm going to challenge you to think about this right now. If you want to get in better shape, does it make sense to eat a whole bunch of chocolate cake? You and I know it's a bad idea. So imagine for a second you say, I'm not going to eat chocolate cake. And you avoid yourself from eating it. You say, no way, I'm not going to eat chocolate cake. No way. The challenge is you want it inside your brain. You know you like it. The dopamine releases, you get excited, you think about chocolate cake, it makes you happy just even to think about it, not even to eat. And you look at the chocolate cake and you say, I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to eat it. And you stare at it and say, well, I'm not going to eat it. 3 days go by, you don't eat it, you work out. 4 days go by, you work out. You're feeling good. And at the end of the week, you're proud. You worked out for 7 days. You pushed yourself for 7 days solid. You said, I am really, really good at this. And you say, you know what, I'm going to celebrate. And because our biochemistry is typically based on past experience, you remember back in your head that every other time you've celebrated, whether it was graduating from high school or graduating from 5th grade or, getting a kickball award or, winning tug of war, your parents always took you to eat. You say, I'm going to celebrate. I worked hard. I'm going to have a piece of chocolate cake. And you don't just eat one piece, you eat the entire thing. See, my question for you is, how would you like to become a person that didn't tell yourself you don't want to eat the chocolate cake? Wouldn't it be amazing to become a person that would never consider eating it in the first place? See, discipline is one of those things that I could get you here as a marketing term and get you to show up because everybody thinks if I was just disciplined, everything would change for me. But discipline really means, taking all the urges you have in your life and the things that you really, really desire and the things you want and pretending you don't want them and forcing yourself to do something else. You and I know when you take something away from somebody, they typically want it more. See, what discipline really is something very different. How would you like to not have to be disciplined? How would you like to become a person that would never consider eating the chocolate cake in the first place? How much would you love to be a person that would never consider, as I always say, making under $1 million a year ever again, like it's not okay to you? How would you like to say that making under 6 figures doesn't even make sense because it's not who you are? Or having an average relationship, there's not even a spot in my brain for that idea. The reason I bring this up to you guys today is most of you came here to learn about discipline. Most of you came here to figure out how to be disciplined. If you want to be disciplined, it's a very militant fashion. It's very simple to do. You could force yourself to do something you may or may not want to do. But imagine becoming a person that having what it is you wanted and being the person you desire to be was just who you are.